A pot kept clean. Every trend we tackle, every gist we weigh. Turning daily drama into words that stay. Laugh a little louder, flip the script with style. Spotlight on the culture, stay a while. Truth in the banter, pepper in the tone. Sharing all the stories what the streets have gone. Let's just honesty and radio vision come inside the flow. Where the city's conversations find a place to grow. Let's get honesty and radio vision voices bold and clear. Mixing fun.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning to you, good evening to you. This is Let's Gist on Esteem Radio Vision. And don't forget that we are located at Obokon Avenue in Ilesha, Osun State, Nigeria. This afternoon, we have brought to you the gist. So we are going to gist together. I mean, you and us. I am Chidima Abel, and I have with me
Oluwatoyosi, Solanke.
Oluwatoyosi, Solanke.
Yes.
Please stop using this bedroom voice because I don't understand. Which one is Oluwatoyosi, Solanke? Please, so if your boyfriend is here, tell him to wait.
As a gentleman, I believe that the lady she can use any voice that she so desires.
Oh my God, so I'm the only one in the
I
house
sound
now.
like an agbero.
No supporter here. Oh, I believe my viewers will support me. I can't be alone now. I'm not alone in this. Okay, I have Solanke, Oluwatoyosi, and I also have one fine bobo like that. The fine bobo didn't even allow me to wait. He didn't allow me to land before he came. You know, he cut in to support Solanke.
It's
no
no call for
problem.
me now.
Okay, who is this fine bobo?
My name is Ohunayo Ajiboye.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ohunayo, Ajiboye, and Solanke. Okay, like I said earlier, this is Let's Gist on Esteem Radio Vision. And this afternoon, we have come with, a very devastating story. One that has touched a lot of lives. I mean, this story, I know you have seen it online. It's been circulating on social media. In fact, it has gone viral. It is even beyond social media. People have been talking about the story. People have been saying so many things. It is one that is controversial. It has different sides to it. Male and female kind of story, where the women will say, no, this woman, I think she's innocent of this. And the men will say this and all of that. But this is not really what we are here to do today. We are not here to argue about the story. We are here to ask deeper questions. What's actually transpired? What could have led to this? Okay, on the screen, you will see the picture of a man and his wife. I mean, holding hands. From the way they are holding their hands, you will even see love in the air. You will see the affection. You will see the compassion. So what could have happened? The story we have here says that the man killed his wife. The man murdered his wife in cold blood, stabbed her multiple times until she eventually died. And that was why they were on their way taking her to the hospital. It was even neighbors who came to her rescue. Unfortunately, they could not rescue her. They had to, take her to the hospital. On their way, this woman gave up the ghost. And then hours later, we were told that this man also was found gasping for air, gasping for breath. And eventually, the news we are seeing here shows that the man is also dead. Oh my goodness. This is really sad. It is devastating. It is pathetic. And we are here asking several questions.
Let's get honesty and radio vision to take us to truth.
Yes, the name of the man, as we saw in the picture, is Ayola Ayonwale, who allegedly stabbed his wife multiple times before committing suicide. Whoa. He killed his wife and then committed suicide. I don't want to talk about this alone. How do you see this? I mean, one would have, thought that this man would just run away, escape for his life. But then, after running, he still went somewhere to kill himself. Could it be that he couldn't bear the loss? He couldn't just bring himself to believe that he actually killed his wife. When I see that, I'm just asking myself, what could have led to this? Is it anger or obsession? Because from the stories I read, I was trying to gather more stories. Somebody said the man was obsessed with his wife. That the man was so obsessed with the wife that he couldn't bear to just get out of the wife's sight. The woman came, fight for a divorce, You know, when things like this happen, there'll be different sides, different stories. People will come and say this and all of that. So let's just get to it. Somebody said the wife filed for a divorce, and then the man couldn't, take it, and so he had to just end the wife's life.
And ended himself.
So
also.
what is that supposed to mean? Is it saying if I can't marry you, no
one
other
else
man
will.
can marry you? Let's get to it. What do you have to say about this? Ohunayo, you are the only man in the house. I mean, this is really, really devastating.
Why are you guys targeting me? Is it because I'm
Let's
a
hear
man?
from you first.
No. It is not targeting. We are just trying to look at, you know,
I thought
you are
I
a man.
told you.
Could it be
I'm a
that?
gentleman, ladies first, but now you are pushing it to me. No problem.
We
No
want to
wahala.
respect the man in the house.
wahala.
Yes,
All
we
right,
are
are
the
submissive.
head, the head
It's
of the
okay,
family.
We are
It's
submissive.
enough. You guys are whining me. It's enough. So this is a big tragedy. Those are two lives lost. No matter how people want to paint it, it's obsession. You know, the thing with marriage is you don't really get much right to talk about people's marriage when you're not married yourself, because if you're not wearing the shoe, you won't know how it pinches. You won't know where it pinches. So that's one thing about the marriage. But the tragedy there is the fact that you know, a lot of people tell women, I included, we tell women that when you're tired of the marriage, just walk away. And now we saw a woman trying to walk away, and her walking away cost her her life.
Her life.
So now, what do we want to say? This time is not when you're tired, just walk away.
Exactly.
But the thing is, we don't have enough information on what their life was like in that marriage. Was she the toxic one? Was it the husband? Because, you know, when things like this happen, we do always skew towards the husband. I mean, towards the husband, and be like, he's probably beating her, he's probably abusing her, he was not taking care of her. And there have been cases when the reverse was the case. The wife was the abusive one, you know, messed up the husband's head, and then when the husband snaps,
wants to react for the first
you know,
time.
in our reaction snaps, and a lot of people will be like, yeah, he has always been like that. Now, while the report said the man was obsessed with his wife, that is one point that we can build on. Is obsession is a mental illness. It's a form of mental illness, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people around them would have probably noticed the obsession, but we have this way of infantilizing mental illness in this part of the world. You know, a lot of people will see him and say, he just loves us so much. And, you know, there would have been signs. And that's the thing we are telling Nigerians. Maybe we need to still do more grassroots level education. Maybe a lot of people do not understand these things. There are always red flags. There are always signs. So when you see the signs, don't romanticize it. Don't say, oh, he loves us so much, he would die. Because, you know, there will be wardens. There's this thing about obsessed people. They have a way they shape their words.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in that kind of situation before. And this is the funny thing. When you are the one in the situation, you never ever see the signs. But people around you will see it.
See, that's true.
So I was the one in the relationship. The girl was obsessed. She used to say words like, if you ever walk away, I'll kill you, I'll kill myself. Or things like, if I see you looking at another girl, I'll remove that eyes. You know, sometimes I'll just joke and be like, forget it there. Until the day she showed a sign. And that was when I knew, brother man, Rondo. So, you know, there are always going to be signs, but because we romanticize these things too much, and in Nigeria, mental health is not being prioritized yet, the way we prioritize normal health. Everybody knows, oh, if there's malaria, take care of your health, but we don't take care of mental issues enough. Look at all the madmen roaming the streets. All the government does most time is just pack them and just throw them in one psychiatric hospital without taking time to learn. Some people are suffering, they are not suffering from madness. Madness can be in different forms. There's depression, there's obsession. There are people that have DID, dissociative identity disorder, where they have multiple personalities. So one personality might be murderous, one personality might be gentle. So many ways, but mental health is one thing that we have not really gone into in this country, and this is an example of what happens when we neglect such things.
Yes, thank you very much. You know, talking about this obsession, I don't know, it's a red flag that a lot of people ignores why they are still in a relationship.
No, it's not ignoring it, it's romanticizing it.
Yeah, that's
romanticizing it. Why romanticizing it? They ignore it.
Chidi,
You understand?
I would like to add I would like to add to what Ohunayo said. Actually, I've not experienced it personally, but I have a friend that went through something like that, and I actually happened to be a witness. it starts from, like, it's not even until you get into that marriage before you start seeing it. You start seeing it while dating, so before going into courtship and marriage.
But you know,
this guy,
love is blind.
Yes,
love is blind.
This guy called, like, he can call this my friend like 15 times in a day. Not even in a day, like maybe in the morning. For instance, me and the lady happened to be my friend. We might be having lectures, and you know some lecturers are very weird, whereby if your phone rings, that's it, they'll start insulting you. So we usually put our phones on silence, whereby we won't be able to pick up any calls. So this guy called that my friend 15 times. She also called me because, you know, she's very close to me, that we'll always be together. She called me also 15 times. Then came online, I saw episode. Oh, what happened? He said that he has been trying to call my friend. He's scared. He has told her he must not leave. Is it because of the lecturer that he said is Aina? Calm down. It was when we now finished that lecture that I now had to call him rather than your baby's with me. We were having lectures. Then I warned this my friend then that do not make attempts going into marriage with this guy. Someone that called you 15 times and still called me 15 times, making 30 times within how many space of how many hours. Those obsessions start with little things that we don't take cognizance of, and we mistake them as true love, whereas they are deadly obsessions.
You know, viewers, we are trying to, know exactly what could have, transpired. Why is it that this man, we don't know, but from what we saw, people said the man was obsessed with the wife. So could it be that he was really obsessed, as people said? Now, if it is true that it was out of obsession, that he killed his wife and then ended up killing himself, because if you look at it closely, the man wouldn't have ended his own life as well. But he ended up taking his own life as well. So now let's look at it. What are those signs of obsession when you are in a relationship that you really need to look out for? You have talked about some of them.
Yeah.
Yes, Ohunayo has actually made us some also. And then she also talked about, multiple calls. When this guy begins to call you every now and then. I think I even experienced something while I was in school. There was this girl also. She was dating this guy, and she was so obsessed with the guy. I mean, late midnight, she would wake up. She would wake up from her sleep and say, oh my God, I don't know. He's like he's with somebody now. I would be like, come on, what do you mean he's with somebody? I can't take it. I mean, I can't sleep. He might be with somebody at the moment. Do you know that as I'm talking to you, this girl will start tiptoeing outside of the room just to go and see her boy around 11, 12 a.m. Come on. How can you be so obsessed with somebody that you can't sleep? You don't have.
It's love. You have to excuse everything with love. That's why I say we romanticize a lot of these things. For example, when I was in that kind of situation, there were signs, but like I said, love is blind. I didn't see it. People around me kept telling me this is not normal.
That's actually true.
Now, looking back in hindsight, it wasn't normal because I told you I was going home for vacation. I was home for vacation, and I grew up with my grandmother, so I spend a lot of time with my grandmother. And now I'm at my grandmother's place. I'm helping her with some repairs, and my phone rings. She picks the phone up, and she said,
to know if it's another woman.
You are Ohunayo's friend. Okay, and then she gives the phone to me and said, your friend is calling. And I pick the phone and I'm talking to her while on the phone. She's like, a woman is picking the phone. Why? And I'm like, are you kidding me? I told you I'm with my grandmother. Does that woman sound like a young girl to you? And all I started getting was quarrels and fights. You are walking away from me. You are doing this. You're doing that. And I'm like, calm down. So I believe like obsession starts in a very funny way. Like for some it's a serious mental illness, and some it stems from insecurities of past experiences.
Exactly.
But this is the thing, not everybody is born the same. Not everybody is raised the same. There are some who have been raised to handle their emotions, deal with their troubles. When you have this kind of situation, speak out. When you have this kind of problem, speak out. This is how to take action. This is how to handle it. On the other side, there are other people, especially men. We are taught to bottle up our emotions. Don't express your feelings. Don't express vulnerabilities. Though you be a man and everything. Not knowing that is silently killing the man inside. It can lead to a lot of things. It can lead to the man being depressed. It can lead to the man even developing that dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple identity disorder. It can lead to them because now they create another personality in their mind just to be able to like vent that emotion. And in most cases, it always turns out to be on the negative side. There are very few cases where you have someone with DID oh, maybe someone that normally does not know anything about music suddenly becoming a gifted musician or something. It has happened, but very rare compared to the negative sides of those things.
Of it.
So we have the insecurity from past experiences.
Yes.
We have
trust issues.
Then we have bottling up of emotions that this, our society especially, puts the pressure on men to not reveal their emotion. You know, and it's one of the things that, you know, some men have had to walk through. They've had to like overcome that, to be vulnerable with their partner and everything, not locking it up, because it leads to a lot of trouble.
Okay,
and then there's now the cultural side of it, where when a woman is in a marriage, we don't know if they were having problems prior to this, but definitely the fact that the woman wants a divorce means that there was fire on the mountain already. Now, there's always the cultural issues where, you know, the woman will be forced to stay with the wife. Even the man, you know, because his wife leaves him, he will be shamed, he will be, you know, all those kind of things. I feel like as a society, we are supposed to come together and start dealing with this archaic mindset. We have to find the middle ground for men and women, where it's not going to be us versus them, where there's not going to be, where relationships that break down don't end in hatred or death.
Oh, that's a good one. Solanke wants to say
in
something.
addition to what, yes, sure. In addition to what Ohunayo just said, I would like to say that family or fundamental problems also add to it, because a situation whereby the wife came from a family whereby the father maybe maltreated the mother and ended up jilting her and ended up with another woman. So that kind of a lady find herself in such a situation, or eventually got married or in a relationship with a guy. There's no how the lady won't be thinking that, won't this guy end up like my father? Won't this guy treat me like the way my father treated my mother?
Already leading to a foundation of distrust.
That assumption will be there. So there will not be this kind of comparison whereby you will not be extreme in, and let me check your phone. Who are you talking to? How many times have I called you? Why didn't you pick my call? So you were with someone. So you were doing this. So assumptions will usually lead to misunderstanding. Consistent misunderstanding will lead to something that is not meant to be.
Okay,
so
both of you have actually talked about some of the characteristics we see in people who are obsessed with their partners. You have mentioned insecurity. You have also talked about trust issues. And then we also have what will we call it now? Hypersensitive. These people are hypersensitive. They are too envious, too jealous. I mean, a little thing like this, even what does not mean anything, they read meaning to everything. If they see their partner just standing with an opposite sex, they will read meaning to it. You have been, you know, sleeping with another man, you have been, you know, frolicking with another woman, and all of that. These are the things that we really need to look into. Why people are still in a dating relationship, because we wouldn't want something like this again to keep happening in our society over and over again. In fact, I've actually heard of a story where a man would, you know, lock up his wife's, you know, underparts. Do you understand? So that she will not mess up. And you even agree with me that such men may be lucky that this woman is either a virgin, a very decent woman, but because they already have trust issues. I mean, it could happen to even the woman. No, we are not just them. We are not putting the blame on the man. It could happen to anybody. It could be the woman that is having such trust issue. It could be the man. So I've heard of a story where a man will just lock up his wife underpart so that she will not go to work and then end up messing around with her colleagues at work. This is how bad the situation can be. You see, so these are the things we need to be looking out for while you are in a relationship. Don't just be blinded by love.
And not to be a preacher here, not to be a pastor, even though they call me pastor.
Preach on,
not to be a pastor, but the truth of the matter is, it is wise for both men and women to be discerning when it comes to choosing a life partner, because when it comes to marriage, relationship, is the one place where you are not allowed to get it wrong, because it's a contract, and you know it has a lot of repercussions when you get it wrong. Not just on you. You have to look at what type of children do you want to raise with this kind of person. So you should never be blinded by the romance. You should never be blinded by the butterflies in your belly. You should focus on the future, because when it comes to that partnership, you're going to be partners for a long time. It's a lifetime contract. And so when you start seeing red flags, you have to ask yourself the difficult questions. And if you get there, and when you get the answers to these questions, the answers determine whether you stay or go. Forget about how romantic he is, how loving he is, how caring he is. Forget about your mother telling you that, oh, but you know, men are so scarce nowadays. Where are you going to see a man?
Exactly.
It's better to be alone and not have a man that to be married and finally die because of that marriage.
Yes, in fact, they
That's
say
my
that.
advice.
They say
It's
that
better to be late
yes,
than to be late.
and they also say that a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage.
Yeah.
It is better you break it now that you have not entered.
I
Now,
will even, I will even
look at
go
the
one
woman.
step further and say a broken marriage is better than a marriage where both are dead, like this situation.
That's what I'm saying. It is better that you end the relationship that is not yet marriage. You understand? End the relationship that you have not yet
I
entered
further
into
read
marriage.
that the woman asked one of her neighbors while they were carrying her to the hospital,
give
that
her water.
what have
Okay.
she done that made her husband treated her this way? The neighbors were now like, they didn't know that they just came to her rescue. Then she gave up the ghost.
You see one of the situations that we also have in Nigeria is this everybody mind your business kind of thing that we have now modernized a lot. Nigeria culturally, in our culture, Yoruba culture, Igbo culture, even I don't know much about the northern side of Nigeria, I've been there, but one thing I understand about Yoruba and Igbo culture especially is this oneness, this community. When you see something wrong in the community, back in the days, they say, you don't just say something, you step in.
Do something.
Everybody, a person's children in the community is everybody's
children. Yes.
One man's wife is everybody's wife, not in the wrong sense of the way, but in the sense that everybody's family is your family. As a community, we look out for each other. And that's culture, that cultural sensitivity is dead in these modern times. I'm sure that there would have been occasions where this man has probably been violent towards his wife.
It's not actually the first time. It can't be the first time.
The story says neighbors heard the noise and then they rushed.
But they will not. It will not be surprising to hear that there would have been cases of domestic violence in the home, and then it's the same neighbors that will still advise her to stay and everything till it got to this stage. They will not help.
The woman actually filed for divorce that led to this tragedy.
That led to the death.
Yes.
And that's why when
but
people say...
But there would have been many times that she could have just gone away, but she would have been convinced, maybe by neighbors or family.
Because of her children. No,
it's like in Nigeria, the culture, we are not really taking this matter as seriously as we should, because we think it's minuscule compared to every other issue that rises up in the country. But it's leading to the death of both men and women. And death, you know, we don't want to be hearing news of death.
Exactly.
Death is a tragedy.
Yes, they say prevention is better than
cure. Better than cure.
You say when people say, if it doesn't work out again between you two, go your separate way. Divorce. But my dear, divorce is not always the answer at times. It is better we find the answers. I mean, the root cause of the problem. They say when a problem is solved from the root, it will not spring up. It's just like a plant. If you cut it, if you cut the branch, it will still spring up again. But if you uproot it from the root, it will not germinate again. So we need to look at problems in their roots and know what the problem is and cut it off. Just as we have here. See, divorce will not always solve the problem. I have seen couples who divorced, and then the other party still went after the other one. I mean, through diabolic means. And I don't know if you have noticed, some couples, when they divorce, one person will not be happy to see the other person move on so quickly. They will still be going after that person one way or the other, even to maim them, you know, do different things. I've seen one man that did such a thing to his wife. This woman fell
you know,
sick.
in a discussion that I had with someone recently, I think today is Monday, that was on Saturday, I had a discussion with someone recently and we were discussing relationship and stuff and everything. And you know, there was one word that came out in that discussion that we had in that group, and the person said, in all we do, just pray to marry right.
That's all.
Just pray to marry right.
That's the ultimate.
Pray to meet the right partner. Pray to meet a kind and considerate partner. And this is going to both men and women. Just pray. And also be intentional about getting that kind of a partner.
Exactly.
And you know, there's one thing with Nigerian people, I don't know when this thing started, and I can't say it's a Gen Z thing because we are all Gen Zs here. Most people don't even understand that Generation Alpha is taking over. Now, it's not a Gen Z thing when you say you're manifesting. You are manifesting something, but you're not building yourself in capacity towards what you are manifesting. There will always be a discrepancy. You're manifesting a rich husband. You are manifesting a really beautiful wife. Those are the things. We focus on the surface. We are not looking at the character. We are not looking at the deep side of it. You are manifesting a rich husband. A rich husband that's not considerate. A rich husband that's not kind. A rich husband that has no empathy.
Solanke wants to say something.
Or a rich husband who considers women property. Like, pieces of goods to be bought and paid for.
All
Or
right,
you are asking for
sure.
a beautiful wife and you're not considering her character. You're not considering if she's considerate. You know, those kind of things, they always end up in this kind of situation.
All right, Solanke, before we move to the next story here.
Well, I would like to say that no one and only solution I think is actually for everyone is just to look out for the right partner first.
Look out for the right partner.
Yes, we're not only looking for ourselves, but we're also looking out for not just the right partner, if it's a man, the right father, especially only if that marriage won't be productive, if you won't be procuring or producing offspring. Because there's no how, you agree with me that someone that can beat up his wife to this point, there's no way he will beat the children more. So let's not be selfish in our decision making. While looking out for the right partner for ourselves, let's also look for the right father for our children.
Okay, a minister said when you're praying for a partner, a life partner, you should always open your eyes. Your eyes should not just be closed. You should still open it to look out, you know, for the characters in the person that you may not like. Not just close your eyes and say, Father God, do it. Then you also need to be careful and watch out for red flags.
Please.
All right, at this point, I saw something online. An influencer posted something. That's a pastor by name Pastor Freeman Chika. He said something. He said, while he is checking to know whether you are a wife material, also find out if he is a father material. While he is checking to know whether you are a wife material, also find out if he is a father material. This is coming from an influencer. Is advising women. It's very good that this is even coming from a man. Now advising women all over that men always check out if a woman is a wife material. Why is it that our society, for instance, is not really after a man being a husband material? It's just you, the woman. Now, there are good husbands, according to him, who are terrible fathers. Why choosing who to marry? Say, remember, you are not just choosing a husband for yourself, you are also choosing a father for your kids.
Children.
Choose wisely. Now, the question is, why does society concentrate more on wife materialism than husband materialism? Why is the society like that? I mean, you will come across men. Whenever you see a man washing clothes, somebody will always tell this man, please try and get married so that you see somebody
That's
to wash
not
your
even the
clothes.
only one.
No.
Like, I
If a
love
man
cooking
is
as
cooking,
a man. I love cooking as a man. And every time I meet an elderly and they see me cooking and they see me doing my stuff, they'll be like, oh, hey, bachelor, at this time, you better get a wife so he can start cooking for you. See, all that is rooted in past this thing. And I know feminists will come up and be like, yeah, misogyny. No, it's a cultural thing. There are cultures where we have matriarchy. Where the woman is the head of the house and the men do all those things. Like China, the woman usually is the head of the. Look at Japan. The man goes to work and then when he hands everything, he gives everything he has hand to the wife. It is even required by their law. It is required by the law over there. So the wife is the sole administrator of the house. Imagine that kind of culture and then you come and you say, yeah, misogyny. No, you're looking at cultural implications across different tribes, across diverse races in the world. But one thing is usually constant, that the pressure is always mostly on women.
On the women.
To get married. This is the reason why is because men are seen as the prize. And if you look at the way nature designed it, it designed the man to be, you know, the protective, and then it designed females naturally. I'm talking about the natural order, all females, to be hypergamous. Now, a woman looks for certain qualities in a man. Can he provide? Can he protect? Those are the two first things they always look at. They don't even look at, is he going to be a good father yet? Those are all secondary to what they want. But now, as culture evolves, as language evolves, as everything evolves, we're not looking at other parameters. It's not only about him being able to protect. And besides, you don't even know if he can protect. Back in the days, what they look for the strongest hunter. Now, there's no strongest hunter. So you see a lot of women say, I want my man tall, dark, handsome, buff, six-pack, big chest, and he should be rich. And, you know, I used to joke with my friends, and I'll be like, how many billionaires have you ever seen Dangote with six-pack before? And those kind of things. But they look at the provision and protection a lot because by nature, women want to be protected. They want to feel desire. They want to feel that love and comfort in their husband's arm. So what happens is that society, because of the way people are wired, they all come together and then they will set a standard based on the wiring. But now we're discovering that there are other standards to check. And that is why there's now like a paradigm shift in the way women now search for life partners.
All right, Solanke, just a quick one before we wrap it up.
All right. I would like to say this still on the same topic. I would
Why
like to
does society concentrates more on,
okay,
why
on that. Women are seen as homekeeper, so they felt like we should be the one to look out for the Mr. Right and not men looking out for us as the right partner.
But the reality is that both
should look out for each other.
For the right partner, for the best fit.
All right.
So conclusively, please, I would like to say that when we see something, let's say something and do something.
Wow.
And to ladies out there, please, there are things that we see in a relationship before it's actually transferred to marriage.
Because the truth is, no one can pretend forever.
There's no, you would have seen those red flags, but we mistake them as love. They are actually not love in the real sense. There are things that we should flee for before going into marriage, but we mistake them as love. They are obsessions, actually. There are things, I'm very sure that there are some of the things that actually led to something like this, like the story we actually discussed. The woman would have been seeing some
signs
track
while they were in the
while they were in the relationship before it actually, even before the marriage. So just like the story I told you, this my friend was seeing it as true love. I was the one that was not telling her that this one is obsession, is not true love. She would be shivering like this if she should miss this guy's call. What will he say?
And what kind of love will make
What kind
you
of
scared?
love? There's no peace of mind. So let's not mistake
love
that kind of
obsession.
Yes, that's just
a good
it.
one. All right, viewers at home, this is where we'll be bringing the program to a close. Don't forget, Let's Just will be coming your way on Wednesday this very week. So keep a date with us. At this point, we want to say a very big thank you for choosing Esteem Radio Vision.
Culture, stay a while.
And then to my colleagues, my beautiful, handsome colleagues, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, say hello to our viewers. This is where we're wrapping it up. So just...
Let's get started.
At this point, I also want to appreciate our CEO in the person of Deacon Michael Ajiboye Ashaolu, the founder of Eniakbonle Foundation and also Esteem Radio Vision. I want to say thank you to him, and also to our producer in the person of Ayomi Kon. I want to urge you to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Esteem Radio Vision and on YouTube at Esteem Studio. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you want us to place your adverts, anything for sponsorship or advert placements, just contact us on 0916 634 9956. Until we come your way again with, they remain Esteem Radio Vision. And I am Chidima Abel. Bye for now.
Really like they own the dome. We break down the issues, stitch them up again. Young man sparking fire with a moving pen. Social waves rising, we just serve them sweet. Finding all the angles that the headlines breed. Colorful but precise when we drop inside. Turning simple gist into sparks of light.